Well, welcome to EV Brief and welcome to Kia's EV6 GT line. This car has been long awaited in Australia and there's a bit of a waiting list for it, so it's great to be able to get our hands on it and show you just what's inside. Now this is the mid-spec GT line starting at $74,990, so it's got all the sporty looks about it. It's got this kind of black down here in the middle with the larger air vent, and it's got the big wheels and the gloss black up the sides, and it also has the 168 kilowatt 350 newton meter single motor as opposed to the dual motor. Now the EV6 is based on Hyundai Kia's eGMP platform, so it shares that with the Ioniq 5. This platform is modular, so the EV6 actually has a slightly shorter wheelbase than the Ioniq 5, giving it a slightly sportier drive and a more kind of compact body. We really enjoyed the ride of the Ioniq 5, but Kia's honed the ride and handling specifically for Australia, and it has made this car a little bit firmer than the Ioniq 5, but still offering really good body control. Something else that Kia has done, this car has the 77.4 kilowatt hour battery as opposed to Hyundai's 72.6, I believe, kilowatt hour battery. So that makes the EV6 a really good range vehicle. This model, 504 kilometers WLTP range, about 460 kilometers I think for the entry-level model. In terms of exterior design, Kia calls this the digital tiger face, basically an evolution of its current design language. It looks quite menacing at the front. I don't really see the tiger, but perhaps someone can point that to me. Nevertheless, I really like it in the metal. You've got these haunches which really just drop down, plunge to the front here, reminiscent of a Jaguar or I-Pace. It's quite aggressive despite being a high-riding car. And as we come around to the back, a real sort of helmet look to the glass house area, wedge shape, very dramatic, a little bit of black cutout at the back and a spoiler that sits over the top. And again, this reminds me of the I-Pace or very Aston Martin DBX kind of vibes at the back too. So I think it's very successful for Kia. It is, it's a larger vehicle, as I mentioned. It has a 2.9 meter wheelbase, so the images often don't convey the actual size of this thing. So if you're looking for a compact sports hatch, this is not the car for you, but for a sporty kind of family crossover with a low ride height, this is going to fit the bill, I think. And have a look at the back. Very Aston Martin. That red light goes all the way around the top and lights up at night. Now in terms of charging, this has the 800 volt architecture of the Ioniq 5, so Kia claims 10 to 80% in 18 minutes. That's about 100 kilometers of range in 4 to 5 minutes if you can find a 350 kilowatt charger. Charging is accessed just via this port here. You can see AC and DC charging there. And obviously this car also has the V2L, so you can plug in appliances into this port or into the interior port. So let's jump over to the interior. Absolutely massive Continental 20-inch wheels here. Well, Kia has similar door handles to Hyundai. They pop out when you are in proximity to the car. Just grab it and enter. And then we're greeted with an interior that is quite similar to the Hyundai. So you've got this twin 12.3 inch screen setup and quite a large space around the floor where there's storage and things like that. Unlike Hyundai though, Kia's gone for a fixed console, so that floating console there does not move like the Ioniq 5. Overall, it's a very successful interior. I think you've got a nice two-tone effect here. You've got the white and black. And from this side you may be able to see the floating console a bit better, so the central drive controller to select gear sits up there, along with controls for heated seats, things like that. There's a wireless phone charging pad, plenty of USB ports, and there's also this kind of textured stripy dash finish. Now tell me what you think about this. I'm not a big fan, to be honest. It looks a bit chintzy. But as a family car, I think this is a very successful cabin design. Plenty of knee room, plenty of shoulder room, and the twin screen setup is quite dramatic. Now it runs Kia's own operating system, but there is Android Auto and Apple CarPlay up here. There's also a augmented reality heads-up display, which is kind of cool, something the Ioniq 5 misses out on. Now rear seat passengers don't miss out either. There's a really good knee room and foot room thanks to the fact there's no central drive tunnel, unlike in cars like the Polestar 2 and Volvo XC40, so plenty of space here for 3 across. There's also USB outlets on the back of the front seats, air vents, and coat hooks, coat holders on the back of the seats, which is an interesting design. No sunroof in this spec, but that's available on the dual motor version. Now headroom seems a little bit compromised compared to the Ioniq 5, but that's the price you pay for design. Coming around to the boot, and 520 litres, so pretty useful. Now you do have this sloping tailgate which could eat into the space if you're carrying something large and boxy, but overall it's pretty good for a family or for carrying large items going away on a weekend, that sort of thing. There is a frunk as well, and I'll show you that in a second. Generally not very nice finishes in the interior, metallic touches here and there, plenty of ambient lighting, metallic finishes on the Meridian sound system there, and this white faux leather. There are harder plastics, as you can see down on the doors there, where it's all scratched up, down on the seats and the console. But look, all cars are made to a price, and this thing, aside from the scratchy plastics, it feels incredibly solidly built. So let's pop that frunk now, have a look in this front storage area. Now in this single motor variant, there's a good 50 to 55 litres of space in here, so really practical for a soft bag, small overnight bag or travel bag. In the dual motor variant, you lose that, unfortunately. That's the price you pay for the extra performance. A lot of people comment on the practicality of these cars being brand new versus something like the Model 3, which I would say is the standard bearer for EV practicality. I think with the eGMP platform, they've pushed the wheels to the corners of this, really maximising space to improve drivability and handling, and that sacrifices the ability to put extra storage under the floors in the front and the rear, as they've done with the Tesla. Well, thanks for tuning into this episode of EV Brief while we have a quick look at Kia's new EV6. It's a beautiful day here in Sydney, Australia. Any comments or questions about the car, make sure you drop a comment below, and make sure you also subscribe to stay up to date with new content as we publish it. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Jonathan, and this has been EV Brief.